Are you making these expensive mistakes in your poultry farm? I'm serious, these mistakes could be costing you thousands of dollars, maybe even tens of thousands without you even realizing it. We're talking about simple errors that drain your profits and waste your precious time, turning your farming dream into a total nightmare. But what if I told you that with a few simple changes, you could completely transform your farm, boost your profits, and basically print money with your chickens? It sounds crazy, but it's true. I've brought in the best experts, spent a ton of money on research, and compiled the ultimate guide to poultry farming success. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to give you 10 expert tips that are guaranteed to make your farm more successful than you ever thought possible. This isn't just theory, this is a step-by-step blueprint to making more money from your flock. So, if you're ready to stop losing money and start building a poultry empire, you need to watch every single second of this video. Get ready to take notes because we are about to change the way you farm forever. Let's do this. Alright, first up is biosecurity. Trust me, this is where most people lose everything. Imagine a single invisible germ sneaking onto your farm and wiping out your entire flock in a week. It happens and it's devastating. You wouldn't let a random person just walk into a bank vault, so why are you letting diseases walk right into your farm? We're talking about simple things like not having a footbath at the entrance, wearing the same boots you wore to the market, letting wild birds hang out with your chickens. Every single one of these is like leaving the front door wide open for disaster. This is the #1 profit killer, and most people completely ignore it. So, here's how we fix it. It's easier than you think. First, we're setting up a perimeter. No one enters your chicken area without disinfecting their shoes in a footbath. I want you to literally build a disinfection station at the entrance. Second, dedicate a specific pair of boots and coveralls that are only used inside the poultry house. Never, ever wear them outside. And third, quarantine any new birds you buy for at least 30 days. We're building a fortress around your flock, making it impossible for diseases to get in. This one change alone could save you thousands. Okay, let's talk about food. You wouldn't expect a world-class athlete to win a gold medal by eating junk food, right? So why do you expect your chickens to be productive when you're feeding them garbage? Inadequate nutrition is a silent killer of profits. Using the wrong feed or not providing enough clean water is like trying to run a car on empty. Your birds will grow slower, lay fewer eggs, and get sick all the time. You might think you're saving a few bucks on cheap feed, but you're actually losing a fortune in lost production. This is a massive, massive mistake. Here's the $1 million fix. You need to become a chicken nutritionist. I'm not kidding. Learn the difference between starter feed, grower feed, layer feed. Each stage of a chicken's life requires a different nutrient profile, and getting it right is non-negotiable. We need to see protein, vitamins, and minerals as an investment, not a cost. And water, it needs to be so clean you drink it yourself. We're going to install nipple drinkers to keep it fresh and uncontaminated, and we're going to clean them every single day. Better feed and clean water equals heavier birds, more eggs, and more money in your pocket. It's that simple. Imagine being stuck in a crowded elevator with 50 other people for your entire life. That's what most people are doing to their chickens. Overcrowding is one of the most common and destructive mistakes in poultry farming. When birds are packed together like sardines, they get super stressed out. This stress leads to feather pecking, cannibalism, and makes them way more susceptible to diseases. Plus, they're all competing for food and water, meaning many of them won't get enough to thrive. You're not just raising chickens, you're running a high-stress, low-yield prison camp. The fix is to give them some personal space. We need to do the math. The golden rule is to provide at least 2 to 3 square feet of space per bird for floor-raised systems, and even more if they're larger breeds. So, if you have a 100 square foot coop, you should have no more than 50 birds. Seriously, go out and measure your coop right now and count your chickens. If you're over the limit, you need to either expand your coop or reduce your flock size. Giving them more room will instantly reduce stress, improve their health, and you'll see your egg and meat production go through the roof. More space literally equals more money. Ignoring or messing up the vaccination schedule is like playing Russian roulette with your entire flock, but with 5 bullets in the chamber. You might get lucky once or twice, but eventually disaster will strike. Newcastle disease, Gumboro, can sweep through an unvaccinated flock and wipe out 90% of your birds before you can even call a vet. People think vaccines are an optional expense, but they are the single most important insurance policy you can buy for your farm. Skipping them to save a tiny amount of money is penny-wise and pound-foolish. It's a gamble you will eventually lose. So from now on, we are not gambling. We are following a strict military-grade vaccination plan. Get a calendar and mark down the exact dates for every crucial vaccine. Newcastle, often given at day 7. Infectious bronchitis, often given at day 7, then boosted later. Gumboro, around day 14. Get a specific schedule from your local vet or hatchery tailored to your area. We will administer them correctly through drinking water. We will administer them correctly via eye drops, and we will record every single vaccination. This isn't a suggestion, it's a command if you want to be a professional farmer. Would you try to fly a plane without any instruments? Of course not. Yet so many farmers are running their business completely blindfolded by not keeping records. If you can't tell me exactly how much you spend on feed each month, what your mortality rate is, how many eggs you collect per day, you're not running a business, you're running a hobby that's probably losing you money. Without data, you can't make smart decisions. You won't know if a new feed is working, if a disease is slowly creeping in, if you're even profitable. It's impossible to improve what you don't measure. This ends today. We are turning you into a data scientist for your farm. It's super easy. Get a simple notebook or create a spreadsheet. We're going to track 3 things religiously: daily feed consumption, daily egg production, or weekly weight gain for broilers, any mortalities or signs of sickness. We're also tracking every single penny you spend: feed, vaccines, labor, everything. At the end of the month, you'll be able to see your exact profit or loss. This data is your superpower. It will tell you what's working and what's failing, allowing you to make genius-level decisions that will skyrocket your profits. When it comes to chicken health, waiting to see what happens is a death sentence for your farm. A single sick bird today can mean 100 dead birds by the end of the week. Many farmers see a chicken that's a little bit off. Maybe it's lethargic or has ruffled feathers and they think, oh, it'll probably be fine tomorrow. That is the single most dangerous thought you can have. By the time a bird looks really sick, the disease has likely already spread to dozens of others in the flock. Delaying action is not just a mistake, it's a catastrophic failure in management that can cost you everything. Starting now, you are the first responder for your flock. Every single day, you're going to spend at least 15 minutes just observing your birds. We're looking for the slightest signs of trouble. A chicken that's isolated from the group, one that has diarrhea or greenish droppings, any coughing or sneezing, or one that's just not eating. The moment you spot any of these red flags, you isolate that bird immediately in your quarantine pen. Then you call a vet or call an experienced farmer for advice. Early detection and rapid response are what separate the amateurs from the pros. Be a pro. This is a huge one. You can do everything else right. Perfect feed, perfect coop, perfect biosecurity. But if you start with low-quality chicks, you've already lost the game. It's like trying to build a skyscraper on a foundation made of sand. Weak chicks, unhealthy chicks, genetically inferior chicks. They'll have high mortality rates, grow slowly, be prone to diseases, give you terrible conversion rates. Many beginner farmers try to save a little money by buying the cheapest chicks from an unverified source. This is a trap. That small initial saving will be wiped out 10 times over by losses down the line. You must source your day-old chicks from a highly reputable and certified hatchery. Do your research. Ask other successful farmers where they get their stock. A good hatchery will have a strong vaccination program for its parent stock, ensuring initial immunity, excellent genetics for egg laying, excellent genetics for meat production. Pay the extra price for quality. When those chicks arrive, inspect them immediately. Active, alert, dry, fluffy down. Starting with strong, healthy chicks is the foundation of a profitable poultry empire. Don't compromise on it. Imagine living in a stuffy room with no open windows, ever. It would be miserable, and honestly, you'd probably get sick. That's the reality inside a poorly ventilated chicken coop. Bad airflow is a silent enemy. It allows toxic ammonia from droppings to build up to dangerous levels, which burns the chicken's eyes and respiratory tracts, leading to infections. It also traps moisture, creating a damp environment that's just perfect for mold and bacteria to grow. And in hot weather, a lack of ventilation turns your coop into a death trap, causing heat stress and mass casualties. This is a simple physics problem that unfortunately has devastating biological consequences. The solution is to create a constant, gentle flow of fresh air without creating a draft directly on the birds. It's a balancing act, but it's crucial. We need vents near the ceiling to let hot, stale air escape, and vents lower down to let cool, fresh air in. The key is to have cross-ventilation. In hot climates, installing exhaust fans can be a game changer, literally pulling the bad air out and bringing the good air in. You should be able to walk into your coop and take a deep breath without your eyes watering from ammonia. If you can smell strong ammonia, your ventilation is failing, and you are losing money. Let's talk about what's under your chicken's feet. Neglecting litter management is disgusting, and honestly it's incredibly dangerous for your flock. When bedding gets wet and caked with manure, it becomes a breeding ground for harmful bacteria, parasites like coccidia. Worse, the breakdown of uric acid in the droppings releases high levels of ammonia gas. This gas not only causes respiratory disease, but it can also cause painful foot pad dermatitis, which are like chemical burns on their feet, and even breast blisters. You're forcing them to live, eat, and sleep in their own toxic waste. It's a recipe for disease and poor performance. The fix is simple: keep it clean and dry. We are committing to a strict litter management schedule. You need to be using a good, absorbent bedding material like pine shavings, rice hulls, at least 4 to 6 inches deep. Every day, you need to top dress by adding a fresh, thin layer of bedding over the top. You also need to physically remove any wet or caked spots immediately. A full cleanout should happen between every flock. A great test is to grab a handful of litter and squeeze it. If it clumps together, it's too wet. Dry litter means healthy feet, clean air, and happy, profitable chickens. This is the final boss of poultry farming mistakes, and honestly, it's the one that crushes so many dreams. You can raise the healthiest, most productive chickens in the world, but if you have no one to sell them to, you haven't built a business. You've built an expensive hobby. So many people jump into farming, scale up their production, and then suddenly realize they have 500 chickens ready for market and no idea how to sell them. They end up panic selling at a huge loss, or even worse, consuming all the losses themselves. Producing without a market is like building a car with no wheels. It looks impressive, but it's going absolutely nowhere. Before you buy even one more chick, you need to become a market research expert. Who are your customers? Are they local families who want fresh eggs? Are they restaurants that need a steady supply of broiler meat? Go out and talk to them. Find out what they want and how much they're willing to pay. Visit local farmers markets to see what your competition is charging. Maybe there's a niche for organic, free-range eggs that no one is filling. You must secure your market before you produce for it. Having a list of buyers lined up before your birds are even ready is the ultimate pro move that guarantees you'll be profitable. And there you have it. The top 10 mistakes that are absolutely destroying poultry farm profits, and more importantly, exactly how to fix them. We covered everything from building a biosecurity fortress to becoming a market research genius. Avoiding these simple but critical errors is the key to transforming your farm. It's the difference between struggling to break even and building a thriving, profitable business that you can be proud of. Remember, a healthy flock is a profitable flock, and by implementing these strategies, you're setting yourself up for massive success. The power is now in your hands. You have the blueprint. I challenge you to implement at least one change on your farm this week. Start with the easiest one for you, improving your record keeping or just cleaning up the litter more often. Small, consistent actions lead to huge results over time. You have what it takes. I can't wait to see you succeed. If you got any value from this video, do me a huge favor and obliterate that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next video where we build a chicken coop that can survive a hurricane. And let me know in the comments which mistake you were making and what you're going to do to fix it. I read every single comment. Thanks for watching, and let's go build those poultry empires.